Hello, welcome to Rapid Regeneration with me, David Escamilla. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not making any medical claims or claims about diseases. I am a man on a mission to help you and to help anybody who's interested in healing naturally, regenerating naturally, and achieving optimum health, wellness, energy, so that somebody can decide to be all that they can be and create a good life for themselves and create more positivity in the world. My journey started off quite selfishly because I suffered from really horrific health problems. When I was in my early 20s, I essentially poisoned myself, overdosed on cough medicine, and it really messed me up bad, and it caused a litany of side effects and symptoms that were just horrific to deal with, everything from headaches to brain fog. Felt like no will to live, and I just continued on that way for years until I figured out natural solutions to solve these problems and reverse all these problems, which I did. So I was so grateful for that, and I felt indebted to therefore pay it forward. So now I'm helping you, hopefully, to do the same thing. And of course, since getting cleaned out and healthy and everything, I've just gone to the next level in terms of energy, performance, feeling good and energetic. And so there's amazing benefits to this information, and so this topic is one of the tips and tricks, which are things you can do, and in addition to, let's say, what you eat, supplements, the more difficult things, because supplements cost money, and changing what you eat costs willpower, and both of those are more difficult. These tips and tricks are easier and more easy to work in. Some of them cost more money than others. This one should cost no more than $10 to $20. This is about Enemas and Colonics. And this is something I found out about late. I wish I knew about this earlier, because it really could have helped me, because I've had issues with my gut, like I'm sure most everybody has, where I ate a bunch of bad food over the years, a lot of bad food, and it affects the gut. And so basically, enemas are a technology, no more than that. If you look back writings from 2,000 years ago, ancient civilizations used to take vegetable gourds and fill them with water and give themselves enemas. And so this is nothing new, and essentially, the way it works is when water gets into your colon, water is the universal solvent, so it will essentially work to clean off the walls of the gut. If there's hardened gunk, hardened slime, mucoid plaque that's creating a wall in the gut, then the water can get in there. Mostly the large intestine, aka the colon, which empties out into the rectum. And so basically what you do before you cringe and say, I'm never going to do that, it sounds too uncomfortable, just hear me out, because I thought the same thing. But basically what you do is you get an enema bag, you fill it with water, you hang it on a hook like a shower rack, and then on the other end there's a hose, little skinny nozzle, and then there's like a clamp so that the water doesn't come out until you release the clamp. And you get a little bit of coconut oil or some kind of lubrication, and then you get on your hands and knees beneath, and then you go ahead and put some water into your rectum, and you basically release that clamp. Now you can release it all at once, in which case a gallon of water will enter into your gut in under 60 seconds. Or you can kind of control the clamp, open it and close it to kind of pace it a little more. Now, when you do this, basically you'll get the urge to then run to the commode and move your bowels, and so that may happen immediately. Now, one of the goals is to hold the water in and essentially let the water absorb, let it slosh around, let it soak into the colon wall. Like if you had a stain on your counter and it's like some hardened up gunk of something, you would pour a little water on it and let it kind of soak in for a little bit, and that would help to get it off. And so, again, this is, before we move on here, it's called a colonic because it mostly targets the colon. It's questionable whether water is gonna really get all the way into the small intestine, and so it's mainly targeting just the colon. There's other gut cleansing protocols that you can use to target the entire intestinal tract, including the small intestines. And there's another segment about that, which you can find. Just look for the segment about cleansing the gut. It's one of the first ones. And you do that chemically with a supplement. This is a different approach, and it's effective to a different degree. And it's very effective, I find. So basically, you'll end up needing to run to the commode, and when this happens, you might notice things that are coming out that don't normally come out, without getting too graphic. So this could indicate that the enema is doing its job, and you're getting hardened slime and gunk off of the colon wall. So lastly, before you again cringe at the thought, I thought the same thing. Look, I had never put anything, in my rectum before. So I wasn't exactly crazy about the idea of doing that. But I have to say, after giving it a try, it's really not bad at all. Really not. It was not bad at all. So there you go. I mean, don't knock it until you try it. The insertion is, I'm telling you, it's very mild. Get a little bit of coconut oil. You don't even notice anything. It's a very thin nozzle, and it's not bad. So after doing it, you might run to the restroom, 2 or 3 or 4 times over the next hour. And then I find that the bowel movements over the following 24 hours or even 48 hours are better, if you can call them that. And so I think it assists not just immediately, but over a period of time. It does essentially act as a stimulative effect to move the bowels. And so if somebody is suffering from constipation, then you could utilize that as well. And as far as when to do it and so forth, I think virtually everybody should consider doing it at some point. And if you've never done them, you might like it. I mean, after doing it, I liked the feeling, and I wanted more of that feeling. And so, but you might consider over the course of about a month doing it, multiple times per week for a month, to get everything cleaned out initially. And then to stay cleaned out, you might consider doing multiple enemas a year just for maintenance. Also, You don't just have to use water, which, if you're using water, make sure it's, purified, clean water with no harmful chemicals in it, because the colon absorbs. It's built for absorption. You could also use like a water solution mixed with lemon juice. You could use water with herbal formulas mixed in, or probiotics. You could use coconut water. You could use cucumber juice. You could even use certain herbal teas. It seems maybe intimidating to use some of these ingredients. Use your intuition and exercise caution. I'm just telling you what I would personally use or consider using for myself. Make your own decisions and use your own judgment, and be careful and be cautious. But don't be paralyzed with fear. After all, you've been putting all kinds of offensive things into your colon, for a long time now. So the large intestine is designed to tolerate a large variety of ingredients. I would absolutely avoid coffee enemas, which are very popular, or putting any kind of caffeine into the colon. In my opinion, this is far too overstimulating, and you could risk exhausting your nerves by doing that. My personal favorite is this tea, this herbal tea. Obviously, you want to let it cool down, which you can find at rapidregeneration.com/tea. And in terms of the temperature, if you're using water, some people say lukewarm water is the best, or body temperature water, people will say is the best. Let's say 98 degrees. Personally, I find room temperature water is perfectly agreeable. I don't have any discomfort using that. Colonics and enemas are not without a downside, like many methods and therapies referenced within rapid regeneration. Sometimes you fight fire with fire, and sometimes you have a technology or you have a protocol which is powerful and gets powerful results, but it might have a downside, or might not be completely pure, as the driven snow. And so I believe that is the case with colonics and enemas, and I believe in bringing you the most powerful and most effective information. You decide for yourself whether you choose to do that. That's the case with certain supplements or certain therapies, and so I can't not share this with you. But when you flush out using a colonic or an enema, you can risk flushing out some of the beneficial bacteria that reside in the colon. And so some people might object that this is somewhat unnatural, to be forcing water into the opposite end that it normally goes into. And so I agree, it's less than totally natural. And it can be overstimulating in the sense of it can flush out some of your probiotic colonies that live in there. So if you're doing enemas, you might consider taking additional supplemental probiotics, or especially eating foods that are high in beneficial bacteria to repopulate the gut. And so it's a very useful tool. I think everybody should consider doing it. And then, essentially you're looking at $10 to $20 for an enema bag, which you can find at rapidregeneration.com/enema bag. So essentially anybody could do this. And for someone who you don't want to go through that, setting it up yourself and all that, you can go to a colonic center. I don't know if you're going to pay $100 or $150, but basically you go into one of these centers, and somebody who does this all day long, this is what they've chosen to do, will insert some water into your rectum, and basically you can have the white glove experience instead of doing it yourself, and that's a colonic. So just look for a colonic place. Otherwise, you can use the poor man's colonic, poor woman's colonic, which is the enema bag. And I'm telling you, don't knock it until you try it. Don't be one of these people that just criticizes things without ever trying it, because I run into people like that. And they'll say, I'm having this problem. And I'll say, have you considered this? I'll say, I heard that's a bunch of hogwash, and I'm not going to try that. That sounds too far out. Okay, but how do you know if it's not going to work if you don't try it? Are you just going to be like a critic on the sidelines, never tries anything? And so, well, I heard that movie was bad, so I'm not going to watch it. Sometimes that's good, because it keeps you from wasting time on a bad movie. But I'm just saying, it holds people back too. So give it a try. I'm telling you, take it from me. Okay, you have my personal stamp of approval that it's not that bad. So give it a try. Buy your loved one an enema bag for their next Christmas or birthday, and just see how they react, and give it a try for yourself. That's it for now. The website is rapidregeneration.com. This is the holding ground for any information that I find and compile that can help somebody achieve optimal health. That's my goal, to help you do that. I'm here to serve your goals of doing that and assist whenever I can. Hopefully I get some good karma out of it. Please let me know if you have any questions or anything I can do to help. That's it for now. Bye for now.
For more information, please follow @Rapid Regeneration or visit rapidregeneration.com.